Right. So it starts out with big picture priority. And big picture was, okay, I have an opportunity to spend some time with someone who helps me grow and change. Right. I got to keep
Yes.
working on me. You got to keep working on you. I think moms and dads need to invest time and energy into working on themselves so they can be there for their families. They can be the best version of themselves, so they can show up right. So that's a priority.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. Excited to be chatting with you today. I'm in the studio with my awesome husband, and he's getting over a little cold, so his voice is a little deeper than normal. I think it's kind of radio-ish.
Is that
babe.
right?
Yeah, it's deeper than normal.
Okay, got it. Doesn't sound deeper to me.
I like it.
Sounds a little phlegmy, but other than that,
That's kind of gross.
Yeah, that's disgusting, actually.
I'm just glad you're in here with me, though.
So, your dad sent that joke the other day. What do you call a bear in the rain? What is it, honey?
Drizzly bear.
Why when he says them, do you think they're funny?
I just think it's funny he's looking up jokes. Maybe he's trying to help us out.
Come on, Jack. Jack talk Thai.
You can explain. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
If anybody's ever seen Meet the Parents. Jack talk Thai. Jack talk Thai real well. Whatever. All right. What are we talking about today?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But that's so funny because my dad's name is Jack. So if you don't know that, it's kind of like...
To our kids, affectionately known as Baka.
I know. They all call him Baka. They love him.
Yeah.
Good gravy. No, I'm excited to chat with you today because you and I were talking about this the last week or so with everything going on. Everybody has so much going on. But, somebody had mentioned to me, they had a question, and I thought this was great. They said, how do you organize your family to accomplish everything you guys want to? Mm-hmm. And I sat there and I thought about it for a while, and I was like, that's really good. How do we do that? Some of the things that we do really takes like planning for us and thinking ahead and conversations and thinking it through on a deeper level with just you and I and then with the kids involved. And I was just thinking through a couple of different things that have been happening right now that we're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And one of them that is kind of a big one is we're planting this amazing garden in our backyard.
Well, even before that, another thing we have going on right now is finishing off the spring school or spring sports season.
Oh, yeah.
I just bring it up because we're right in the middle of it. It's early right now. It's a Saturday. Had to get up early to take the twins to districts, JV districts for high school. And it's like an all-day thing, right? They got to go. Just talk to them. We're trying to sneak a couple episodes in here before I go back to watch them. But they got to play like a round robin part of the tournament before lunch. So they started at 7:30 in the morning. They'll play probably by 10:30. So they're going to be about 3 hours of just kind of waiting. And then they'll take a lunch break, and then they get seated. And then they have to do actually the tournament, and then championship. And so it's going to be like an all-day thing. So you and I are here figuring this out. Plus, we had Drew that had his last basketball game yesterday before playoffs. And now we're trying to figure out how to navigate playoffs this week because of the seeding and how that all works. And so another example of us organizing and managing and who's doing what and going where and who's deciding, what. You and I, it takes so much communication, right? I mean, if you and I aren't talking, like we literally calendar plan, daily, right?
Right. And that's probably a good thing to start right there, calendar planning with all this kind of stuff. I don't know if we've talked about it before. I'm sure we have. But for our family, we have this huge calendar that we put up for the whole year. Mm-hmm. And then we usually start with big picture.
Yeah.
So we have a 2024 calendar. It hangs up. It's actually in Greg's office here. And we kind of map out all the things that are very, very important that we can't move the dates of. And that means like the sports schedule for our kids. Like there's a season for each sports. You can't exactly move when tryouts are.
Yep.
And so we block that off so that we are here and available for that. We block off certain things like if we have business meetings or conferences that we need to attend.
Yeah.
We block off certain things like if we need to make certain trips or want to go on certain trips.
Yeah, like a couple of trips. When we schedule them in a reasonable distance around other things, that's not going to be too interruptive of the other stuff we have to do. Like there's a lot of strategic thinking done within it, and a lot of it comes from experience, right? Of jamming too many things in at once, regretting it later. Next year we decide not to do that. Even just understanding how we feel about traveling with or without the kids, etc. So anyways, yeah.
Right. So we start with our big picture. And so at the end of last year, we pulled out a 2024 huge calendar and started looking at the sports schedule. We started looking at when sports actually began for each child, when tryouts were, and possible districts or, any tournaments at the end of a season. After we do that, we kind of go through and look to see what time frame each sport might take. What time could they be done? Like as far as like typically all of our kids are done Monday through Friday with tennis right now by 5:30. Let's say. Okay, then that would fit in our schedule because in the evening, maybe we had other things during those weeks that we would need to accomplish. But if not, we kind of sit back and say, are we really able to put them in this right now?
Right.
Does this even make sense for us? I mean, currently our son is in 3 different sports right now.
Yeah.
Because 1 wasn't enough. 2 wasn't enough. He's in 3 at this point. But if it really didn't work out in our big calendar, we wouldn't have put him in 3 sports.
Right.
And so that's what we do first. We kind of narrow it down and look at the big picture. We put the things in that we cannot move, like I said, business conferences or commitments that we've made, or even a trip that we really want to go on with either my parents or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then we break it down month to month and give ourselves the space to discuss what that looks like. And not that it's perfect, but we really look and say, okay, if we sign them up for this month, we are dedicating ourselves for the next however many weeks. Normally it's like an 8-week time frame for each sport, it seems like, where either you or I are 100% committed to get the kids to those practices.
Yeah.
And if either one of us are like, I can't promise, and if you're like, I can't promise, then we have to come back and look to see if this is smart for us to do.
Yeah, and if we decide that we can't go to it, then we just on the front end have a lot of communication, both with the kids and even their coaches. Like, hey, listen, just I remember cross country last year. We committed to cross country. It kind of came out of nowhere. We had just gotten here to Boise. We show up at a middle school meeting. They said the next sport up is cross country. Drews is like, I'll do that. I'm like, really? I don't even understand.
You rocked it, man.
Oh yeah, he was amazing at it. It was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he's built a little different than I am. He can actually run.
Maybe he takes after me in the running, hun.
Yeah, probably. I think so. But I just remember, talking to the coach right away, who's also the athletic director, and was just like, hey, listen, Friday nights are our family nights. And so they had practice like 5 days a week or meets. And he just said, is it going to be okay if Drews doesn't come in on Friday? Drews and Chrissy and Ellie don't come in on Fridays. And she was really nice about it. She's like, yeah, it's actually no problem. Just thanks for letting me know. And she didn't hold it against them at all. Like if she would have, she'd have been like, no, you can't do that. There's just no way. Right. Then we just wouldn't have done it. Right.
And we would have appreciated her telling us that. Because if that's the standard that they're holding,
right,
that's okay.
Right. But the point is to actually have the conversation beforehand instead of not having enough self-image to have the conversation, which, I could see people doing. They're like, well, we'll just put them in it and hopefully nobody gets mad. And it's like, no, just have the conversation, And because of that, I think we really earned her respect. Like our family's very respected by them because we're always communicating. We over communicate versus under. And I think they really like that.
Right. And another example for us, even in tennis, was one of the priorities for us is obviously having our kids trained up so they can play at a high level in high school. Mm-hmm. Middle school for us is an awesome opportunity to learn and grow and change.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's prep.
It's prep for high school.
Yeah.
So our twins are freshmen in high school playing sports there, I should say. With that, though, the priority is, for instance, Greg was out of town for a couple days, I don't know, a week or two ago, and there were literally 3 different sports going on that I needed to take care of. Yeah. Like tennis for our youngers, tennis for our bigs, and I think it was football or basketball. I can't remember.
It was both.
Oh, yeah, and dance.
It was, yeah. So was that 5 things?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy at the end of the night I have all of our kids back home.
That was your goal.
And they're our kids. I didn't pick up anybody else's. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But, I sat down with you because you were like, I have this opportunity to go away for a couple of days with our pastor and speak and really grow and change and help some people. Are you able to take this on? And it was like, I hope so. This is a great opportunity. Let's figure this out. Thankful for some great friends that were helping us also by helping drive Drew to ground because he plays sports with their child. But, it was like, let's sit down and let's talk about the priority here. If you can't make it to this would be first priority. If you can't get kids over to this is first priority over here. And because we explained that even to the coach, hey, my dad's out of town. My mom's running us around. Just so you know, this is kind of the game plan. I might not be able to make it to this tennis tournament because I have to make it to the high school tournament with my siblings for my mom to drive us around.
Right. So it starts out with big picture priority. And big picture was, okay, I have an opportunity to spend some time with someone who helps me grow and change. Right. Yes. I got to keep working on me. You got to keep working on you. I think moms and dads need to invest time and energy into working on themselves so they can be there for their families. They can be the best version of themselves, so they can show up right. So that's a priority. It's actually more important in sports in our household, right? And so that's the first thing. So was I going to go? Yeah. It wasn't really that I wasn't going to go. Obviously, you and I talk it through, but, you and I, we know this is our values. So the second thing was like, okay, well then of all the sports we have, which ones are the most important? And I know that's what you're getting at. And so, for instance, with the idea that the high school sports are probably the most important, then we actually leverage that thought process into thinking, okay, we're going to prioritize the twins tennis. After that, then what's left? And then it was going to be, okay, if we don't have somebody to help with Drews when you have to be at the twins tennis, then Drews just isn't playing that night. He's just not going to be part of that football game or basketball game or whatever else he has going on. Same thing with the middle schoolers. And so, when you start having a philosophy about how you're going to be able to make these kind of decisions, then you can make them. You can. So. And
there's less argument because we kind of have talked about this when we thought about it before the season ever started.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity ever for us to go or need to go do something, then this is our priority. Yeah. So you and I weren't arguing about it, right, and our kids were arguing about
Correct.
it.
Because you're like you said, we've discussed this all in advance during our team meetings, right? Not just between you and I. We start with you and I always, but then the kids have the expectation as well, so they're not disappointed.
They're not. In fact, what's neat about it is the kids literally come to us. If this doesn't work out today, we understand. I can send an email to the coach and let him know. They're on board with it because they know their time will come too. I think that's the key to the whole thing is as we are working through prioritizing what we need to accomplish, that each kid understands their time will come. Just because right now we're running around first priority for the high school kids doesn't mean when you get to high school, you won't get that opportunity. You will get that opportunity. Right. It's just that right now there's only so many of us being able to shuffle everything going on. We have to be encouraging of what we can accomplish and what we can do versus getting upset about it.
Yeah.
And when the kids feel that way, I think they're thankful. I don't know how many times the kids have said, thanks for taking us. Thank you. Hey, Mom and Dad, if it doesn't work out for me to go, I'll send an email. Let's all go support so-and-so. Let's all go and do this. And because of that, all the kids are more excited when they actually are at the sporting event.
Yeah, it's true. And I think, just the philosophy in our household too is that, when you start talking about priorities and whether it's personal growth or business stuff or the things we do that are purposeful that serve other people in our lives and then sports come after that. What's interesting is, we don't become the people that are trying to relive our certain season that we might have missed through our kids through sports. We made that decision a while ago too, which was a really big conversation because, I grew up playing sports and, you did it some as well too, but it really became a major part of my life. It's kind of how I escaped a lot of the dysfunctionality in my household. But in our household, it's different. It's not really like that. We do a lot more bigger picture things here. And so the kids also know that, yep, we're excited about you guys being champions and everything that you do. But really, how much of a winner you want to be in any sports can be based on how hard you want to work. You're not going to get us to try to push you to do what you should do for yourself. And if you just want to just have fun, then we're on board with that. Like, we support you at the level you want to play, right?
That's so good. Actually, let's talk about it in the next one because that thought process is really good.
Right on. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.